Okay, so let's get started. Let's just settle into our meditation posture. So I can move now because we did quite a bit last week. So we can go a little bit slower this week, I think. And I wanted to ask if anyone had any questions from last week. We did this focus on functional thinking and thinking about being kind to ourselves. Did anyone practice that over the week? Yeah? So tell me your experience before we get started. Does someone want to share? Erin, you want to have something to say? And then Karen
Um,
after. Oh, sorry. Might one of you go.
okay, I'll go.
Okay.
It's interesting. I've been doing the loving kindness meditation for others almost every morning, but I never
Oh.
included myself.
Oh, well, we're supposed to start with yourself.
I know. So, so
Like on the airplane when the masks drop down. I mean, if you don't put it on yourself first, then the kid will die. But anyway, so we will do one for ourselves as well. But it is kind of important that you do for yourself.
I have a pet cemetery on my land and where all my beloved pets are buried. So I go down there every morning and I do out
Oh,
loud the loving kindness meditation for them.
oh, that's so
And
sweet.
and so that's a ritual I have every morning, but I didn't think to do it for myself. So,
There you go. Now you have a new awareness. So
yeah.
how long have you been doing that?
Um, Probably about 5 years.
Okay, wonderful. That's really cool. And don't forget to say some medicine Buddha mantras as well while you're down there.
Yeah.
That's very helpful for them. Rinpoche used to say also that even if because this is the argument, for people who are not vegetarian, Rinpoche would say that even the dead flesh of an animal or the bone of an animal, you say the medicine Buddha mantra and you blow on it, you can still bless the mind of that animal. I guess your sort of personal spiritual power would differ from person to person.
Mm.
But it's just the idea of that. And I think it also stops us for a moment, takes a step between just diving into our food anyway with attachment. Oh, look at that bacon. And just grasping at it and then first of all thinking before we put it in our mouth. And then maybe after a while you don't want it. So it's a it's an interesting thing to put a gap between yourself and the flesh of the animal that you're eating, and then use a mantra to try and bless them, or anyway
Mm.
along those lines. So for your pets that are passed, you of course can do medicine Buddha mantra. Just 3 even would be um, beautiful for them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then that also at the same time, because you're hearing the mantra that you say, of course, it blesses you as well. And they say about mantra, the word mantra means mind protection. So
Ah,
it's also, often you'll see these Tibetan women, Nepali women that just going around all the time, the elders, on mani padme, on mani padme, on mani padme, on, and part of that is to protect their mind. So they're constantly saying mantra. It's hard for them to be thinking. It's almost like a EFT little exercise in itself, just this constant recitation of mantra. I think Rinpoche's mother used to recite like 50,000 a day
wow.
before she passed away.
Mm.
Anyway, so Erin, what would you like to share?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure if I did the exercise right, but I had heard to say it for yourself.
Good-o. Yes.
And it was really nice because
Yeah.
I just find I'm usually so focused on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Again, also that I kind of forget myself. And it just felt very grounding and nourishing. And then I felt like I had real energy to think of others. It
Right.
was very nice.
Oh, that's so interesting. The fact that then after you had taken care of yourself, then you felt energy to take care of others. That's beautiful, Erin. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Would anyone else have a similar experience to Erin? Particularly those of you who are in the healing profession? No? Okay. So let's get started then. And let's just start with our meditation posture. So feet flat on the floor. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust the mic. Could be. All right. If you are sitting at a desk, and then have your feet this kind of a hips width apart, and really try and feel all the surface of the balls of the feet and the sole of the feet, and maybe those little toe pads, really making contact with the earth, this earth that supports you, all of us, and really feel the weight of your sits bones in whatever surface it is you're sitting on, and allow your shoulders to align with your hips. You can have your hands just very gently in your lap. The head is very slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, and the tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and just relax the jaw. And take a nice deep breath. And we'll go through this release process again, but just to go to the crown of the head, just be aware of the surface of the crown of the head and release the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, back of the head, the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, the mouth, back of the neck, the throat. Allow the shoulders and the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your chest and belly and all of your limbs. And bring your mind back to the breath. And just become aware of the sensations of the air as it flows in and out of the nostrils. So you might feel or notice that sensation at the base of the nose, the tip of the nose, this in the middle somewhere. You also might be one of those people that prefers to feel or notice with their breathing the rising and the falling of the chest, or the rising and the falling of the belly. And these can be areas of focus, like an anchor that you can come back to if you wish, if you forget where you are, coming back to the breath, the sensations of the breath in the body. Be aware if there are any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow them with your mind. And then just be aware of what's arising in the mind. And if you can remember those little bubbles of trying to identify the kinds of things that you're thinking. So if you notice thinking, I'm thinking. Or maybe you can get into more detail and see, oh, that's a story and it's something I've just made up. It actually never happened. Here we are, I am future tripping. Another story, a future story. And here I am fantasizing. And here I am remembering. So you can just allow those thoughts to arise. A river of mental moments. Perhaps you can gently place them on a nice white fluffy cloud and just allow that cloud to float away, or you could pop them into a helium balloon and just let it go. And just allow your thoughts to disappear into space. Just feel the relief in not having to manage them, the relief in not having to deal with these things that don't really particularly serve you very well. So we imagine we sitting ourselves on the edge of the bank of our river, and just allow that river to flow. And notice the quality of the water. Is it rough? Is it moving slowly? Are there rocks in it? Is it muddy? Is it clear? Is it sparkling? How is your river looking this evening or today for Jay? And then just remember that while you're sitting on the bank and you're observing, objectively observing, you're free from the river. So let's just bring to mind the people of our life, because we'll be relying on this particular meditation in today's session. So start with the ones that you love. Maybe there's one person particularly you want to think about this evening. Bring them to mind, see their face. You know these people really well, intimately, even, and you love them. And then there's those people in our lives that you're not so fond of. I mean, they could be even people that you see on television, in the media. Perhaps there's a person that has indirectly harmed you, or a group that you belong to. Or maybe someone directly has harmed you, or maybe you just don't like these people. Maybe it's someone you interact with every day that you have aversion for. So bring that person, can be one of these people, to mind. And then there's some strangers. We have so many strangers in our life because we run into them every single day. Here I find I do a lot because it's very congested. There's the northern Bay area. Now all the children are out of school, adolescents everywhere, driving kind of badly. It's a bit difficult. And interestingly, these relationships that we have with these people, they can change place at any time. So just bring to mind an example, perhaps, of a relationship that has changed. Perhaps someone that you didn't even have a clue existed at the beginning of 2019 is now a very, very dear, close friend to you. And now you wonder how on earth, what would your life be like without them? Maybe that person that you don't really like very much does something quite sweet and quite kind. It becomes a bit of a conflict then. It's like, oh, I thought I didn't like that person, and now they're being kind to me. They're making an effort. And one thing to remember, however, all these people are equal, same as you and me, in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for enlightenment, for Buddhahood. So I think we'll do these meditations tonight on loving kindness for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we're going to start this evening by just bringing back to mind this idea of nurturing positive and wholesome qualities. And we'll do that. We'll repeat the meditation about loving kindness for ourselves, and we'll do that first before we do the loving kindness for others. So I'll just go back and we'll start that one. So we're extending loving kindness towards ourselves by way of the support of just a few very simple phrases. And you are, of course, free to experiment with different words. And you can change them as you go along. So I imagine, Karen, that after 5 years, you may have developed your own set of words. And by repeating slowly and mindfully the phrases, we can start by channeling our attention in the direction of genuine care and concern towards ourselves. And then you need to give your heart a little bit of space and time to respond with the appropriate feelings when you're ready. So our mindful awareness encompasses both ourselves as the object of kindness and the inner quality of loving kindness itself, as it kind of just fills our mind and heart. So in order to facilitate the arising of this kind of genuine loving kindness towards ourselves, so in between our repetition of the phrases of loving kindness, we can just pause to reflect on the basis of having ourselves as the recipient of our own kindness and loving concern. And as Erin said, it was very comforting for her. She found it very nurturing. And it also gave her the energy to be able to then go and help others, be present for others. So we can't be present for ourselves. How can we possibly be present for anyone else? And we can see that we're just like everyone else in that all of us want to be happy and not to suffer. But just reflect on that for a moment. It is true that deep down, I really want to be happy and I don't want to suffer. Well, there are other reasons as well to strengthen this quality of loving kindness towards ourselves. So we could see the goodness that's within us. So you know when you're being generous, you know when you're being kind. You know those parts of yourself that are positive and virtuous. Maybe you can sense a yearning for love or remember past experiences of happiness. And you just, again, wish that for yourself. For some people, there's no need to have a reason to extend love and kindness to ourselves. And as Erin pointed out, it wasn't by focusing on herself with loving kindness, it didn't just benefit her. It ended up benefiting others as well. So this is, anyway, our Mahayana motivation. So allow your spine to be again, check it's in a nice, natural, comfortable position. And just be in touch with the simple sensations in the body. And notice areas of softness and ease and relaxations and comfortable feelings. And just try and welcome those feelings and allow ourselves to enjoy them while they are here. And maybe you also have areas of tension or tightness, maybe some discomfort. So just for a moment, just acknowledge those feelings. Try not to resist them or run away from them, or feel that you need to change them immediately. Just allow them to be for a moment. So check the face. Are you tensing up any facial muscles? Those at the forehead, around the eyes, or at the jaw? And can we very gently relax these muscles and let in a different feeling, one of softness, comfort into our face? And can we allow this softening and relaxing to spread on its own to the rest of our body? And just allow the body to settle into meditation in its own time. And just notice yourself moving inside, quietening the mind. So the phrases that are being offered here in the FPMT materials are, may I live in safety, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease. So we'll use those, but of course you're very welcome. If you continue doing meditation like this, you can make up your own. So if you like, you can try the tapping with this. And let's just see how we do. And I want to get some feedback on it, because I'm thinking it might be a really useful thing to use in meditation. So start very gently with just the crown of the head. Tap the crown of the head. And may I live in safety. And so this is wishing oneself to feel safe and to have security in life. And you can move down to your eye at the brow. May I be happy. Wishing oneself to feel joy, cheerfulness and happiness in the mind and heart. So just very lightly tap the eyebrows. May I be healthy. Wishing oneself to enjoy physical health and well-being. You can tap just the outside of the eye. May I live with ease. Wishing one's daily life and work flow to go smoothly and easily. And then just underneath the eye where the bone is. May I live in safety. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And then move down to just beneath the nose. May I live in safety. And then just below the lip. May I be happy. And the chin. May I be healthy. Maybe the jaw. May I live with ease. Very light tapping. And the collarbone. May I live in safety. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Okay, so you can just relax the tapping. And make a mental note of how that was for you. Was it helpful or was it distracting? And really try and stay connected to the intentions behind these words and extend loving kindness towards yourself. So when you do get distracted, you don't have to worry if you're not feeling particularly loving towards yourself. As I said earlier, you can just give your heart time to respond in its own way. And we can rely on the words to guide our heart towards loving kindness. And so when on occasion a nice warm feeling arises of love and kindness, try and entwine that among the phrases and then offer that up to yourself. May I live in safety. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Deep down, all of us want to be happy. Is it true for you? And how does your wish to be happy manifest in your life? Is it trying to find material things? Is it trying to find peace and quiet on the path when you're hiking? Is it spending time with your family and friends and loved ones? Is it spending time with your pet? Is it reading? May I live in safety. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. So now examine the goodness within you. What are your own qualities? Maybe list them in your mind. Maybe after class you can write down your qualities. We all have them. I think sometimes in the West we're embarrassed to write our qualities down. We prefer to write down the things that we feel we need to change. Maybe your parents instilled some beautiful work ethic in you, kindness towards your neighbors, taking care of people when they're sick, making them a meal, remembering to check in with someone when you haven't heard from them for a while. And remember some past experiences where you were happy. Maybe you have a wish for that to continue. Maybe you have a yearning for love. Okay, everyone, you can relax. I'm wondering if anyone had anything that they would like to share on that meditation. Was anything reinforced? How did you find the tapping? Was it helpful? You liked it? Karen, what's helpful for you about that?
Have to unmute. I think anytime that it helps ground me when I did that first meditation we did at the first week, where we did the touching meditation.
Mm,
And so this reminds me of that. It's kind of
yeah.
getting back to not being so much in your head, but in your body.
Yeah. I think I really loved that touching meditation too. It was really beautiful. I think I'll use it again next week as well, because everybody seemed to enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because I think you also too, you are caring for yourself this way. Like mentally, it's hard for us to sort of turn this loving kindness words towards ourselves, but we're okay going like this. We're okay going like this. We're okay going like this. And that is, in a way, it's the same, right? You just, if you were to touch a friend this way, it's a caring gesture.
Yes.
So, yeah, excellent. That's great. Felice, it looked like you were about to say something. I can see you're thinking.
I'm on my phone, so I'm having trouble like finding all the things I need to find.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah. I think the tapping helps me too, like be present in my body. It just helps me settle in. It's like an acknowledgement that there's this animal here with everything that needs to be safe or,
Yeah.
feel okay in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone else have anything?
It helps me, Katie, whenever I do it. The tapping focuses me away from anxiety and into a much calmer, it just shifts my awareness. And maybe it's like everybody else is saying, into the body, away from these fantastical thoughts that burn in the mind.
It's so funny. We all have the same stuff, don't we? But I totally agree. As I was even doing it, I just found it really relaxing. I could just feel myself just going shoo like that. It's really quite pleasant. So I would like to look into it a lot further because I found it super useful. So Michael, I noticed you weren't doing it. Did you find it difficult, or you didn't want to, or was too disruptive for the meditation? Sorry to put you on the spot there.
I've known about tapping for a long time.
Oh, you have? Oh.
In fact, not the first time, but the first time I heard it talked about a lot is, if you remember, when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. There were people who were going through and helping people with anxiety by doing some of the tapping.
Wow, amazing.
But for me, I find it's interesting for me because I was just thinking about it. While I find touch to be very good, and I was thinking, like my brother, he and I are almost identical, except that if we're going to go if I want a massage, there's nothing better than a massage. He doesn't want to be touched.
Right.
And because of what I do, I know lots of people who are like that because of trauma they've had, right? But I know that that's not the case for my brother, and I was just thinking about how different this is, right? And so for me, when I've tried it, it hasn't moved me forward in the same way that other kinds of motions can.
Interesting. It's interesting to find that it's probably not for everyone as well. Like all of these different modalities, it's not, some people respond to it better than others or differently. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And was there anything else that you wanted to add to that? No. Okay. Hin, how was that for you?
Thank you, Venerable. The left side of my face, I don't have, what do you call that? Like
Sensation?
yeah. So I really like it when I tap in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel a lot better,
Oh, beautiful.
yeah. This side of the face, I don't have um it's numb.
Wow.
Yeah, so thank you, Venerable.
Okay, so it was a little bit helpful for you.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And the jaw,
Yeah.
I really like that. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you. David, how was that for you?
I guess I could say kind of the similar things other folks have said about getting into your body and kind of getting out of distraction
Mm.
and being able to focus on the meditation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think it does feel quite helpful for that. And I think it's also what I think so was it Erin that was saying it's, or Karen, one of you two was saying that it's very similar to the touch. Well, you are touching yourself, but obviously there's a difference between tapping lightly and then just holding the weight of your hand there. And Mary and Jay, did either of you want to add something?
I too have known about tapping for a long time.
Wow, how am I only just hearing about it this year?
Goodness me. And I thought it was a Californian thing because that's who I heard it from, was one of my California buddies.
I just
Very
love
alternative. Yes,
it.
yes.
Yes, okay.
So for me, it's just like the breath. Movement is distracting. Sensation is not. When we held, I could feel, and put my attention on that. If I'm tapping, it's like it's busy work for me.
So similar to Michael, then perhaps it's too busy.
I've noticed that we're twins. Yes, yes.
Because Michael likes stillness. So and I think what you're expressing is probably what it was probably too busy, too distracting for Michael as well.
Yeah.
So, and Michael, so how was the whole, when we did the body touch meditation, were you in the class for that one? You must have done it at some point.
I've done that before. I wasn't in the class when you did it. If what I'm going to do is a prolonged where I can do this and it just stays there for a prolonged amount of time, I find it very relaxing. Or the hugging or whatever, right? When I can do that and I don't have to, and I'm not thinking about, okay, now I have to change position, it's good. And I think one of the reasons is because it's like, why is the breath so calming? Because you don't have to think about breathing.
Mm.
You're
doing
gonna
it all
breathe.
the time.
You're gonna breathe, right?
Yeah.
If we're here, we're breathing. And so for me, if I can do one of these and I'm just going to sit there like that and be in that position, again, I think you hit it right on the nose. For me, that stillness is what it is. And then as I start to do more things, I find it distracting.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will have to throw this in that this year I started doing prostrations. And when I first started doing them, I found them very distracting.
Right.
But as you start to do a lot of them, it becomes kind of one motion. And because it's one motion, it really does become much more meditative. I mean, I think sometimes in the same way that when we think of, okay, it's the white color and the white color going down this channel and this channel goes to here. And at first, when you do that, you think, how can I keep all those things in mind? And then one day it just hits. And you're not thinking about the 15 pieces of that. You're thinking about that thing as a whole. And when you can get to there, and it's a really different, it becomes a really different thing.
Yeah, and it takes time. I think I had one time I was doing a lot of prostrations in Bulgaria and I had a dream that I was flying, like I was flying in my prostrations. And when you get momentum and you're on that board and you're in that kind of really holy place, it does kind of feel a little bit different than when you first start and it's like, oh, here we go. But anyway, Jay, did you have anything you wanted to add? Thank you for introducing that, because it helped me understand what was going on for Michael.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Mary?
Well, I don't really know. I enjoyed it this morning. I have a raging headache right now, so I actually didn't do the tapping. I laid down, but kind of like Michael, I learned about that emotional freedom technique. Oh, I don't remember. It's been at least 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness, I'm just so behind.
Well, I had a back injury. I fell off a mountain and I was diagnosed PTSD from it. And so that was one of the modalities I used to help with.
How far did you fall?
Oh, pretty far.
Like 100 feet?
I don't remember.
Goodness. Oh, I'm so happy you're still here.
Me too. But
Could have
that's
ended very differently.
But it was actually really interesting because I knew when it happened, I actually I went into a meditation actually. Like I didn't go into fear or anything. Like it was actually like a really out of body. It was a pretty amazing experience, actually, how it all ended up.
Amazing. Everything slowed down.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So for tonight, I've just been, I'm sorry, I had to lay down. It's been a really long day with family and I just have a splitting headache.
So Mary, if you want, for the rest of the meditations, if you want to lie down, you can. Please just go ahead. And that's for anyone. I think there was someone, was it you, Felicia, you had a back injury or something, or you feel, yeah. So if you feel like, because it says in the text, you can just lie down if you want to. So just go ahead and lie down. Try not to fall asleep, however. Because I know, Mary, you're on the East Coast, so it's getting late for you. But yeah. Okay, so let's just keep going, shall we? So just settle back into your meditation posture. You can lie down if you want to. So now we're kind of moving into this idea of nurturing positive, wholesome qualities. So we're going to integrate analytical meditation. So it's not usually done in, considered, something that they do in mindfulness meditation, but they're introducing it here. So we place our mindful attention on a chosen object or a topic, such as loving kindness for a loved one. And you can examine it and attempt to verify its validity or to invoke and nurture an appropriate response. So you're basically opening your heart. So in this example, it would be to respond to those we love and care about with this kind of a heartfelt quality of loving kindness, and to familiarize our mind with that quality of love through our mindfulness. So, we've talked about functional thinking and remembering and imagining and reasoning. So we can rely on perhaps an outline detailing the points to reflect on and giving attention to each point and evaluating it in the light of our own experiences. And we can follow a sequence of steps in a reasoning process and determine for ourselves whether we're convinced by a logical conclusion. And we can also repeat a guiding phrase or question to ourselves and examine the thoughts and memories and feelings that are stirred up by the inquiring process and come to our own understanding. So with mindfulness, we hold our attention on this topic of loving kindness for others and keep returning to it when we're distracted. So remembering our friend introspection. Introspection is helpful in monitoring the process and alerting us when we are no longer with the topic. So when our mind recollects a past memory of kindness and love, from our loved ones or identifies an aspect of their life that we admire or cherish, we can respond by bringing forth the loving intention that sincerely wishes them to be happy and to be with all the causes of their happiness. Repetition of the phrases of loving kindness helps us to strengthen these loving thoughts, and it provides a basis for our mindfulness, stabilizing and nurturing our loving kindness. Somebody has their mic on. If you could mute, please. This way of presenting mindfulness in the context of analytical meditation that involves thinking, reflecting, and reasoning is not commonly presented these days in mindfulness training. However, it is a valid way of using our ability to be mindful in conjunction with clear functional thinking. And we can cultivate and nurture a better understanding and also these wholesome, virtuous qualities within us. So we can broaden our concept of the scope of mindfulness to allow ourselves to be in touch with our heart. Well, we're going to do this meditation on loving kindness for others. So maybe you have one important person in your life, maybe you have several. So bring them to mind. Maybe place them in front of you. And take your time to open your heart and to express your love and appreciation towards them. And we do this first by slowly and mindfully repeating the words and phrases of loving kindness. And later, when our heart is ready to respond with the warm feelings of genuine loving kindness. So our mindful awareness encompasses both the people as the objects of our loving kindness and the quality of loving kindness itself as it kind of is running through our heart and mind. And we'll facilitate the arising of genuine loving kindness in between our repetition of the phrases of loving kindness, and pause to reflect on the basis for extending loving kindness and concern towards them. We can see that they're just like us and everyone else, in that all of us want to be happy and don't want to suffer. We can also recollect the good qualities, the kindness and the love they've shown us, or our thoughts and feelings about them. And for us, some of us, there's no reason to extend. No reason is needed to extend love and kindness to others. So again, make yourself comfortable, whether you're sitting on a chair cross-legged or lying on the floor. Just allow your spine to be comfortable. So if you are lying down on the floor with your legs out, it might be a good idea to put your feet up, either on a couch or a chair, or even just put your feet on the ground so your knees are up. And just again be in touch with the simple sensations of the body, of the breath. Tune into those. Notice areas of softness and ease, comfort, and allow yourself to welcome those feelings and enjoy them. And then notice some areas may be tight and uncomfortable. Perhaps just acknowledge them for the time being without feeling you need to change anything. Just let them be and see what changes. Check in with the face. Just relax all the muscles of the face, the forehead, the eyes, the jaw. And as you're relaxing these muscles, relax the scalp. Let a different feeling, one of softness, ease, and comfort, come into our face, into our head. And allow this softening and relaxing to spread on its own to the rest of our body, helping our body to settle into meditation in its own time. For our phrases, may you live in safety. So we're wanting others to feel safe and to have security in their life. May you be happy. So you're wanting others to feel joy and cheerfulness and happiness and love in the mind and heart. May you be healthy. So wishing others to enjoy physical health and well-being, access to good food, the right amount of energy at the right amount of time. And may you live with ease. So your daily life is free from hassle. Everything flows smoothly and easily. So bring to mind the important people in your life. And one at a time, allow a visual image of that person to appear to you. When we further reflect and examine what we know about this person, his, her, or their experiences, past and present, hopes and fears. So really bring that person to your mind. You can also imagine that they're right there with you. Bring to mind the basis for extending loving kindness and concern towards them. Bring to mind their good qualities, their kindness, their love for us, their natural desire to be happy that is universal. May you live in safety. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. So we'll just meditate in silence for a couple of minutes and just bring these words to your mind. And when you get distracted, come back to the phrases. And don't worry if you're not feeling particularly loving. You can allow your heart to respond in its own way. You can rely on the words to guide your heart towards loving kindness. So occasionally these warm feelings of love and kindness will arise, and then just intertwine them among the phrases and offer them to ourselves. May you live in safety. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. So now feel free to switch to other loved ones if you haven't already done so at your own pace. And for each of those people, you can repeat the reflection and then rely on the phrases to extend loving kindness. May you live in safety. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And everyone just relax. Did anyone have anything they would like to share from that meditation? If not, we'll keep going. Okay. So these qualities of mindfulness and introspection and concentration and wisdom that we've been cultivating in this course and through our practice in meditation, these become the inner resources to support us when we're stressed or if we have challenges. The breath can help us be in touch with our own body and our mind, as well as maybe starting to see these conditions that are affecting us. And by gradually letting go of those things that no longer serve us, weakening those conditions and reinforcing things that are helpful for us, favorable, we can get a sense of, actually, I'm in control of my life here. I don't have to worry about what everybody else thinks. We can become more at ease, have happiness and contentment in our lives. So in order for this to really kind of work, we do need some kind of regular practice of meditation, of mindfulness. And you can do this in a formal meditation session, and you set time aside to nurture all of those qualities mentioned above. The regularity of a practice enhances our familiarity with it. And this in turn strengthens mindfulness. But any kind of practice, even a regular practice, is better than nothing. And I wouldn't go for long meditation sessions either. 5 minutes is enough. 3 minutes is enough. Perhaps if you did it 3 minutes at 7 o'clock in the morning every single day, it becomes a habit, a really helpful one. So you can also join a meditation group, or you can use recordings of guided meditations. And you could find a meditation retreat and have a teacher there who is an experienced practitioner to consult with, to ask questions of. And you can support each other, you can contact each other. So does anybody here have any ways in which they are supporting their own meditation practice or their own spiritual practice that they feel comfortable to share with others? Some of you have quite a strong meditation practice. So does anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
Part of my-
Katy? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Two people, but go ahead one at a time.
Okay, part of my practice is I find the Vajrasattva very good, okay? And that gives me a structured time of day in the middle of the day, which is good for me. The other thing I have just started, I have a friend who has a background in Zazen. So we've got it arranged to do that 5 evenings a week. And
Wow.
I find that working with people, being around people, even though it's Zoom, it's fine for me, is really helpful and supportive. And I'm extremely appreciative to you guys for all that. Thank you.
Wow. No, thank you for coming, because if I'd first of all look pretty silly doing it by myself. So it's really excellent that everyone comes, because, it's helpful for me as well. I agree with you. It's lovely doing it in a group, and that set time every night, 5 nights a week, it's super helpful. I find it really helpful. So I think somebody else was trying to say something at the same time. Was it Karen?
No, I was going to say something, Venerable Katy.
Go ahead.
I do every night, late evening, I have a yoga mat on the floor. It's a very soft cushion. And before I get on the yoga mat, I do meditation seated on a cushion and to the Blue Buddha. And then I do yoga. And during the yoga, I do some postures that also incorporate meditation, like maybe putting my hand across my chest, something like that, or on a area that's sore, breathing into it, which is another kind of meditation to relax it. So yeah, it's very important. It really helps to stabilize my days.
That's wonderful. I mean, I've also found enormous benefit from doing yoga because I like to move my body, and the pranayama, the teachings that they offer on prana, the breath, also very, very helpful. Helpful to regulate the breath in order to calm the mind. I found that super helpful. Yeah, that's great, Karen. Thank you. And you'll find that there, if any of you are doing a practice of yoga or something, there's many different kinds of yoga offered in the community. Some are that really get fit, get strong, be flexible kind of yoga. Then there's other teachers who are quite grounded in a spiritual practice, and that they will help you work through breath and meditation and incorporate that into yoga. So if you can find a teacher like that, you'll be very, very fortunate. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? No. Michael,
Two things that I do regularly, and one of them is the Plum Village site, which is Thich Nhat Hanh's site. They have on their app, they have a little thing called the Bell of Mindfulness. And
wow.
So it goes off for me every day at a certain time.
Wow.
And then I have it set to repeat every 5 minutes, 4 times. And it's just one of those things where it does it. And then because unfortunately, because I can't set it more than once a day to do that, I actually just set my own alarm on my phone to go off several times a day just to remind me, okay, take a breath. And what's really been helpful for me is when I thought, oh, darn it, now that darn thing's going off again. It's whoa.
It's for you.
Yeah, where are you? That's not where you're supposed to be going.
I mean, that's what they're also suggesting when you're sitting at your desk for too long, to get up and move, so you don't just end up like this all day long. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And I know there is an app. One of my nun friends was using it, where everybody all over the world has this app, and everybody connects in on it to meditate. I don't know what that thing's called. I can't remember it. But there are many meditation apps where you don't get the feeling that you're meditating alone, because everybody else is also meditating at a particular time. You're not meditating together, but there is a time in the day in which everybody is doing the same thing. And then you just got to get a sense of being in this space of doing a meditation with everybody else. So that's also quite nice. It's not the same as us doing Zoom together, but that's also quite nice. If I can find the app, I will let you know. But it also has it goes ding like this. Anyway, we can do our own bells. Okay. Let's keep going because we have 15 minutes left. So this meditation that we're doing, that we're developing, it is eventually going to manifest in our daily life. So it helps bring awareness to our own qualities, helps bring us to remember the teachings maybe that we've received or learned, or what's relevant, so that we're actually starting to live our lives in a way where we're not reacting all the time to everything. So, for example, our introspection would alert us to the presence of mind states that maybe aren't super helpful, and they're affecting the way we think and the choices that we make. And this is the guard that protects us from creating harm. When we're influenced by our delusions, unwholesome mental qualities, or dysfunctional reactive habits. So they're suggesting here to enhance this function of mindfulness and introspection in our daily life by using these verses that we can repeat to ourselves as a reminder. So I'll just go through them. There's the one that we've done. You can do this at a cafe or in the line in the grocery store or while you're on the freeway stuck in traffic. May you live in safety. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May you get home safely. May you be happy when you get home. And so then while you're doing that, as you're sitting in traffic or at a cafe or waiting for your food or on the bus or on wherever, you're reminded of this heartfelt quality of kindness that you have for others. So there's one that His Holiness does, and he is advised to set up a positive motivation in the morning. So he does something like this. Every day, think as you wake up, today I'm fortunate to be alive. So Venerable Rabina would always say, the first thing we think of when we wake up is, oh, how amazing, I didn't die during the night. I'm still alive. And I have a precious human life, and I'm not going to waste it. And I'm going to use all my energy to develop myself, to expand my heart out to others, and to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I'm going to have kind thoughts towards others. I am not going to get angry or think badly about others, and I am going to benefit others as much as I can. Well, that's a wonderful motivation to have the first moment. And you might lose that by the time you get to the kitchen and make yourself a cup of coffee because maybe something isn't there that you want to be there, like milk or whatever it is you have in the morning. Rinpoche has written a book called Bodhisattva Attitude, How to Dedicate Your Life to Others. It's published by Lama Yeshe Wisdom Archive. So he talks a lot about generating altruistic motivation. And he uses these bodhicitta mindfulness verses to support this particular practice. So for example, he would say in the morning, the very first moment when you wake up, think, may all sentient beings achieve the holy body of the Buddha. And when you wash anything, I am washing away all the stains of the delusions of all sentient beings. And when you offer incense, for example, may all sentient beings have pure morality. So there is an app that the FPMT have created called the Inner Job Description Mindfulness Practice Tool. So you can download that. It's on the FPMT website. If you just search Inner Job Description, it will come up. It was offered by one of the Singaporeans. They offered to develop it. And so basically you've got this app where you can track your thoughts and your speech and your action in your daily life. So it's really, really interesting. So if you are interested in getting on top of what's going on in your mind, it's quite interesting. And when you do it, you'll start to notice certain patterns. And then once you start to notice certain patterns, you'll become curious, and maybe you might be interested in perhaps changing those patterns if they're not really serving you well. And Thich Nhat Hanh, he wrote a book entitled Present Moment, Wonderful Moment. Mindfulness verses for daily living that collects many mindfulness verses. So one of them is watering the garden. Water and sun green these plants. When the rain of compassion falls, even a desert becomes an immense green ocean. So we've experienced that here in California because we had a lot of rain, and then of course we had a super bloom. So without the rain, the land has been pretty infertile, or apparently infertile. But the moment that we got a ton of rain, we have millions and millions of flowers. It's just beautiful. And it's now almost the end of May, and the hills are only just starting to go brown. So here we go. We have another 10 minutes. And I'm just wondering if anyone has anything to share before we go. And how did you find the course? Is there anything that you would like to see changed in it, or you would like to do more of or less of? And you can, if you want, you can email me and let me know. I'm just going to pop my there you go. You can write to me there if you wish. David, are you wanting to say something? Looks like you're about to launch into speech.
I'm just reading the screen.
Oh, I see. Okay. Erin, did you want to say something? No. Okay. Why has everyone gone quiet? Go ahead, please. No one wants to share anything? How come you've gone shy all of a sudden, everyone?
Erin, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
You shifted sides. Okay.
Sure, I'll say something.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the classes, and I really liked because I guess I tend to be kind of strict with myself and like, okay, now I'm going to meditate and I've got to sit straight and I've got to blah blah blah. So to mix it up with tapping and the touching meditations and some of the other classes you've done with the movements, it's also a really nice complement to just being in the body, calming down to be in the mind. It feels a lot more holistic and very gentle. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's actually really helpful to hear because, I'm also a person that likes to move, and also quite difficult for me to discipline myself to stay still. So some people find it really easy. Some people can just kind of slip into meditation and just stay there. So I expect maybe Michael is one of those people because he just likes to be still and silent. I don't. I like to run around and move. And it just is, and I suspect there's lots of people like that as well, but people are dying to be in meditation. People are dying to try and get in touch with that place of stillness within themselves. It does take discipline. It does take time. It does take regular practice. And it takes some years before it doesn't take many years before you start to notice some benefits. But for example, if you're doing these Vipassana courses, they're excellent training ground for learning how to get single-pointed concentration. And it's phenomenally helpful, and you will notice a difference after just one 10-day course. And then what I used to find, though, what happens is you just, after 10 days, you're like, okay, so I'm going to sit down and meditate, and you do your Vipassana for about a week, and then all of a sudden it's out the window. And it does take quite a bit. But anyway, you just keep going back and doing whatever it is that supports you to help to develop your practice. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be this, lama on the foothills of Dharamsala, in aesthetically living on 2 beans of carrots a day or something, in order to gain some form of enlightenment. We're in the West, and we're very distracted all the time with a lot of things coming in, like social media and concerns about money and family and, this and that. So there's so many things that we can be distracted by during the day. It's just almost a relief to just say, okay, I'm going to carve out 15 minutes for myself. And just, it's almost like it's almost like a breath of fresh air to be able to get in touch with that still place inside. So it doesn't have to be this great big, oh, I've got to go practice kind of thing. Sometimes it's just nice to be able to sit and be still in the backyard, and then you'll notice all of a sudden you've slipped into some place of meditation. You know, we can meditate at the bus stop. You can meditate in the store. You don't meditate necessarily while you're driving, but do you know what I mean? You can be still in the midst of busyness. And this is for me always very interesting, that there are some people like Venerable Rabina, that there's also other teachers that I've heard about. Geshe Wangyal, who was this like very famous Lama that came to America. He was he helped to, I didn't realize it was quite a thing to get His Holiness out of Tibet in the when he was a young monk. And Geshe Wangyal was here in the United States, and the CIA, I just saw a movie about him on the weekend, that's why. And the CIA were working with him. He was working in Washington to interpret so he could get out. They could help to get His Holiness out. I didn't realize that the CIA were involved in getting His Holiness out of Tibet. So there you go. Amazing. So anyway, they're living in a place of busyness, but yet they're very, very disciplined meditators. You've got Venerable Rabina, who absolutely hates the trees. Well, doesn't absolutely hate the trees, but she far prefers to be in New York City. And the reason is because there's many, many people around her, and she just loves sentient beings. So that for her really, really works. For me, it would not work at all. But, you know, different minds respond differently, and different types of meditation are going to suit different people. So it may not only, you might be the kind of person that doesn't suit everybody, this mindfulness meditation as well. Mary, I'm sorry, you've got your hand up, and so is Susan. And we've got 3 minutes left.
I'll make this real quick, but I'm really grateful for that profound meditation on Tuesday you led this week, and then you did it again tonight, that may I live in safety, may I.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
I really,
cool.
That to me has been so helpful. And I just
great.
sent a graduation card to my niece who's graduating from high school.
Yeah.
And in the card, I wrote those 4 lines, and I told her she had to memorize it.
Oh.
And repeat it 108 times. I didn't go into any other thing about it, except I said that this will get her through.
Oh.
Yeah. I love it.
Beautiful auntie you are. That's fantastic. I actually also too, I mean, I felt it myself when we were doing that meditation, how those feelings can arise when you bring that person in front of you, how those feelings can arise quite easily. And it's like, whoa, I mean, I found it really moving to do. So I mean, I don't know if anyone else felt the same. So yeah. Susan, thank you, Mary.
I felt I didn't participate in the entire class, but the part I did has been very helpful to me. I got very practical suggestions that help my meditation practice, such as do it in short segments, reminder to release pain on anxiety on the out breath. That's a really good reminder, just for doing stuff, your daily stuff. And also categorizing thoughts as a way to tame them so you don't get carried away in fantasies. But categorize them, I like that suggestion. And then tonight, everything we did, it was really wonderful. Thank you for the class. Is this the last night?
This is the last one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I'm sure we'll do it again. And
the old ones are available online.
And the old ones are available online. Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to, if I've put the links up on my website as well. So you can go to my website and you'll find the links to the old ones there.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
And I just wanted to thank everybody for your participation, because everyone's been coming regularly, and it's just very nice and to have such a sweet group. So thank you very much. Thank you, Erin. Thanks for your input. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, David. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Felice. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Hin. Thank you, Karen. And thank you, Jay. So I do hope that we can do this again. I expect they tend to have these courses going around in cycles, and they also cycle the teachers, I think, so people don't get bored with the teachers. Whoops. Sorry. So yeah, I hope that they'll do it again anyway. I would like to myself. I personally got quite a bit of benefit from doing this, so I found it very interesting. So if you do have any ideas about things that you would like to do more of or focus more on, if you're coming back for a second round, we can do that. Yeah, we can develop it. Okay. So I have Vajrasattva in half an hour, and I have to get some dinner into me in between that time. So I'm going to race off now. And lots of love, everybody. And thank you so very much. And I'm glad you enjoyed the course. If there's anything that you would like to change or that you weren't so comfortable with, please let me know that as well. Okay. All right. Lots of love, everyone. Thank you very much. See you, Vajrasattva people, in half an hour. Okay.